Blue Smoke. The episode starts as usual, when the title card, Cold Patty, shows up on the screen. The episode starts as SpongeBob wakes up and gets ready to go to work, but then he gets to the Krusty Krab, and then reads a sign that says, "Closed. Permanently." Mr. Krabs walks out crying and says, "The establishment has been ripped away from me." And then he runs away crying. SpongeBob looks at the Krusty Krab while his smile fades. He runs home and tells Squidward, "Well, I always hated working there, but I'll just get a job at Bargain Mart. Now go away," Squidward says. SpongeBob, now in his house, talks to Gary, saying, "I got fired, Gary. Permanently." Gary meows. Then it shows SpongeBob laying in bed, looking up, saying, "Things will get better, right, Gary?" We then cut to a montage of SpongeBob with a smile as it shows the 7 days of the week doing his daily routine, except going to the Krusty Krab. As the week goes, his smile begins to fade, and then on Saturday, he refuses to go outside altogether. And then he just lies in bed. There is a knock on the door. SpongeBob slowly gets out of bed and opens the door to see Patrick. "Hey, SpongeBob, do you want to go jellyfishing? You haven't been outside since the Krusty Krab closed." "No, Patrick, I'm not in the mood," SpongeBob says. "Okay. Then, feel better, buddy." Patrick walks away with a sad look on his face. SpongeBob closes his door, as we see the inside of his house, dark and gloomy. His house is now an absolute mess. Garbage everywhere. He then pours a bowl of snail food in Gary's bowl that is now overflowing with food. "Gary." SpongeBob calls out to Gary for him to come and eat his food. No response is heard from Gary. SpongeBob walks upstairs calling Gary's name. When he finds Gary, we see that Gary is dead. He is now nothing but a rotting corpse. Died from SpongeBob's neglect. SpongeBob picks up Gary's running corpse and says, "I'm sorry, Gary." SpongeBob starts crying. It is now nighttime, and he walks out of his house. He goes to the Krusty Krab, and he still has keys from when he worked there. He walks into the kitchen, and he admires what once was, until he hears a voice coming from in the freezer. He unlocks the freezer to see nobody. He walks inside and sees nobody. He walks deeper and deeper into the freezer, looking at all the patties that were never cooked. He then goes to the door, locking it. As he begins to shiver, his body begins to freeze from the cold. He stays in the freezer regardless. We then cut to Patrick, Squidward, and Sandy talking about SpongeBob. "I miss him," says Patrick, as Sandy confronts him. "I'm sure he's okay. Somewhere," Sandy says. "Well, wherever he is. I hope he found happiness, said Squidward. Then we got to a missing poster of SpongeBob, as it slowly turns into what is now in the freezer. The image you see now. The episode ends as the poster glitches, and it says, "Missing Billy Watkinson."